Welcome to Legacy Mentor Wednesday. I'm pulling the cards, have them ready, but I also have a question for you around living your legacy life and story. So let's get into it. With the letter and tree card with the 5 words, I ended up with M today. And M is, as a letter, is about stability and practicality, which will play itself out kind of interesting with the 5 words. And then there's maple. And being from Canada, the maple leaf on the flag, and it shows up in a lot of different ways in all the different kind of products and services that we offer. And the maple represents, strength, endurance, and unity. So as part of the flag, makes sense from a unity point of view. Strength and endurance, stability, practicality, that M maple kind of connection. Great story there. Now, when it comes to the 5 words starting with M, there is mastery, monitor, measure, manage, and map. And now I'm going to do it in reverse order. So when I think about map, it's looking at the landscape and maple trees and looking at the maple forest, looking at the landscape that's there, looking at that strength and endurance and unity of the forest is a way in which to think about, okay, I'm mapping out that landscape. What is it that I see? Now, I can turn that attention to my legacy, the organization of work that I'm involved with or I'm going to be involved with, whatever it might be, mapping it, using more of the diagrams and shapes and words, and being able to see what kind of story comes out of that map and how I might be able to navigate the map. The next one was manage, and this is to say, okay, if I have these systems that I'm working with, this organization of work, the organization of systems, even in my legacy, how is it that I can manage them? In other words, how can I put them in some kind of order that you go sort of that ABC that gets you to XYZ, that kind of idea. How do I manage the systems, the process? And then there's the measure, and I think about that one as, well, there might be numbers I might use to measure where we are and how we arrived, and if we have, to what degree, what kind of ratio or whatever. These are numbers, but there's also those anecdotal stories that can measure the feelings aspect that comes along with managing and seeing where it is that you're going along that map. And then there's monitor, which is to remind you to stay present and watching, observing, witnessing what's unfolding in front of you, so that if you have to make some kind of a pivot, an adjustment, then you can do so, whether it's in the measures or managing the system or the map itself. See what happens from there. And then there's the mastery. How do you come to understand your practices and the mastery that's there with it? And sometimes we may forget about that, but when we go to create our legacy story, contributions, and project, it's what we tap into, our mastery, so that we can figure out of our experiences, what have we mastered, the skills, the knowledge, the attitude that we can then share through our legacy. Now, as a bit of a bonus, and I put it in because I always use it to just go, oh, right, what is it that I'm going to minimize? What am I going to maximize? What is it that I may want to stop? What is it I may want to start? It's a way of looking at it just to keep reminding myself of the map, manage, measure, monitor, mastery. What's the min and max that goes with that? The single word that I pulled out today was dream. Oh, I love that word. And dream from the perspective of, I sort of counter it with the drama. So the dream is from the future. What is it that you imagine? What is you want to improve, focus, and strengthen? Those ideas that you can bring in to inform your map so that you can manage them. And therefore, take that dream and say, okay, what might be the opposite of that? Drama, maybe? Drama, what gets in the way? What hinders? What's taking you backwards rather than going forwards? And I always think about it, how can I maximize my dream and minimize my drama? Just a way in which to use those M's again. And what's happening here with the dream is I attempt to write what I call an origin legacy story, which may be more for me than anyone else. And what it does is it helps me to keep that dream fresh and alive and encourages me as I move forward. So think about it from that point of view. What's your dream linked to living your legacy life? If we've not met, I'm Stephen, Legacy Mentor with Living a Legacy Life here on the YouTube channel and the website. And what I'm here to do is guide you on your ride, your Living Legacy Life ride that you're on, and be here for collaborative conversations, dialogue that's holistic and reciprocal. So if I can be of assistance, just drop a comment or go to the contact form on the website. And all that information is down below in the description. So welcome. And I couldn't be any more surprised, but I'll take it, okay, as it happens. The image concept that came forward was the 3 M's in the form of a triangle. And you'll see it here on the page. And what it does is it reminds me that there's a message, media, and market that if I'm going to take my legacy contributions and projects forward, whether I'm paid or not, there is a message associated with it. There's a media, a way in which I'm sharing it, and there's a market that is available. And in that market, I'm picking the audience. Who is it that I want to interact with around my legacy? So even if my legacy contribution is writing a recipe book of the family, then I know that there's the message in the book, the media is the book, and then sharing it with the family, and the market is the family, and then friends. And then depending on what happens, you may end up with someone saying, hey, listen, I'd like to take this book out, and maybe what we'll do is we'll print 20 copies, and out it goes. And you might say, well, do we give those away, or do we charge for them? Now we're into a different sort of lighting of the path of your legacy because of taking these 3 M's on. So have fun with those 3 M's, link to the other 5 as you figure out your dream associated with living your legacy life, so that what may happen is you find the stability, practicality, strength, endurance, and unity that will come about because of you living your legacy life. Having pulled together those M words and the dream, I thought it would be helpful to put in front of you, to place on the table, so to speak, an idea. I'm thinking about creating a course, an online course that I will deliver in person in the sense of online, but with me there, versus a self-directed, you come in and you do it at your own pace. And I've been playing around with the idea of looking at helping you write and or edit your origin legacy story. Now, this origin legacy story, now it could be more for you than it is for anyone else. And what it serves as a touchstone. When you write it and read it and edit it and play with it, then there are different fibers that come from it that they can tie together in different ways and different contributions and projects. And this story as a touchstone or a lighthouse lighting the path is one that really can solidify what your dream is about, but also give you a sense of some of the steps that you can take. And therefore, as you move forward, you will create other stories, strategic stories or operational stories or stories of involvement or stories of completion or just what it is that I've learned stories, all the other different kinds of stories that can come together and be placed as a message to go out through some kind of media. In other words, create a YouTube channel, write a book. If you're sculpting, put a sculpture together and maybe put it into a show, or bring a multimedia show of all the different ways in which you're expressing your legacy together, shooting a picture book to go with that, all the different ways in which you can open up the possibilities of expressing living your legacy life. But starting with that origin story that comes from the heart, touches your head, comes out through your hands. I'm thinking about creating a course, a workshop around that. And I would so appreciate, would that be helpful to you? And let me know down below, what would you like covered? What would you suggest getting into? How long do you think it should go for? What kind of support would you need? Whatever thoughts and feelings you have, put them down below. It would help me in framing up what I think would be of great value, but I need your insights to help me figure that out. With the videos that are popping up right now, they will be of assistance to you in moving forward. Now, the prompts video to the playlist, that's a great place to go and watch 1 to 3 minute videos about living legacy life and prompt you thinking about it in your journal. Now, the other video that's here is getting you thinking about moving forward with living a legacy life. And it's one of the areas that you may want to just check out and see where you're thinking, and take it from there and unfold a way in which to improve, focus, and strengthen your own living legacy life. Now, remember, at any point in time, drop your thoughts down below in the comments section. So appreciate comments. Take care.